Hey traders, it's Matt and JC with Empire Algorithmic Trading, here to bring you your weekly roundup on VWAP Vision Stock Talk.
It's where the volume weighted average price helps us make sense of the market, Matt. So let's get right to it. It's time for a little stock talk.
Weekly review. Well, Jace, I hope your weekend is going great and you're feeling good and don't have a headache after looking at some of these charts. But that little teaser said, how was the week?
It was pretty brutal for leading stocks. I mean, every
Mhm.
after 2 weeks of it just going bonkers, really. I mean, let's be honest. It was a really strong 2 weeks, and sellers are going to come in, right? There was a lot of profit out there, and that's exactly what happened. But the look is pretty rough, right? But that's it. It always kind of goes like that when you get a little dip like this. Half of the stocks are going to shake out, half of them are going to hold, and then new stocks will also pop up when the market returns. So we got pushed right back into a red zone on the S&P 500. It's right back down, but it rallied up strong on Friday. So
Yeah.
we're going to talk a little bit about red zones here as soon as we get through these averages. Nasdaq Composite down or up 0.4% on Friday. It too also hit a red zone. And then same thing with the small caps. It rallied on Friday. And then the mid caps. The mid caps have been basically hanging out below their VWAP for about 2 weeks now. So we really like to see some buyers lift those up. So right now we're at the caution stage. Now not every red zone turns into a significant correction. So there's been 32 red zones. I got some stats here. Just one second. I thought I could probably memorize them, but it's been a day. All right. So there's been like 31 red zones in the last 5 years that I was able to study. The average low after the zone hits is 4.8%. That's after the day of the red zone. 68% of the time, the market closes up the day after that. So that's important to know. After the follow through if it holds that follow through low, then it's good, right? That's the day to watch for. Those average losses are actually more. They're actually a 0.3% gain instead of a minus 4.8% loss for anything that breaks the follow through low. So what we're looking for moving forward is going to be this day here. The follow through is important. So 68% of the time, basically two thirds of the time, the stocks will rally. Is if this low holds, then we're good. If this low breaks, then the average loss is 5.8%. So just watch this. We're still going to treat it normally, right? Just kind of treat everything with caution. But some breakouts do work in red zones, so it's entirely up to your risk tolerance. If you like the lower probabilities, if you're okay with the lower probabilities, I should say, then go ahead and trade them. But there's a lot of stocks sitting right at their 10-day moving average, which we'll talk about during Arrow review. But there's some trades out there. There's just not the traditional algorithm signal. But long story short is we're going to watch this low. The low from Friday is 66.04 is going to tell us exactly what happens. So if the market continues to rally, we get that green zone, which could happen as early as Tuesday if we get an update on Monday and Tuesday. Then probably this low will hold, and then we'll be good to go. So it's going to be an interesting week to say the least. To be honest with you, I don't even know if there's any economic reports. I don't think we're out at starting earnings reports yet. But bonds, they sold off a little bit all week as well. So
Mhm.
a little bit of pressure on equities as bonds sold off. And then VIX kind of rallied up and then just sold
No,
off hard on Friday, which is interesting how quickly that came down compared to
no
previously.
kidding.
It's been a little sticky. So small gain on across the board on Friday, but the damage was done earlier in the week. We'll just see if Friday's low holds.
All right. Well, hey, next section we're going to look at is kind of the big movers from the week, those that either went up or down. Again, all of these big movers were sent to us as an algorithmic buy or sell signal at some time in the past. If you want access to those daily buy and sell signals from our algorithm, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/empire algorithmic trading. So, Jace, who went where?
Well, we had quite a few just come right back down to earth, right? Here, let's just get my charts already. There we go. Like Power Solutions, for example, it broke its 10-day moving average 3 days below the VWAP. It flashed a sell signal. Rode, similar pattern, broke the 10-day moving average. Applied Digital, it did hold the 10-day, but it did flash an algorithmic sell signal. If you put the anchor there, that's going to flash a red. We'll set a little arrow there. It's going to be similar stories. Credo, longtime leader, it broke its 10-day and its 20-day as well. FTAI, another really solid, good breakout. It's broke down. This is going to be the look. WIFI, Wi-Fi, it broke down as well. Shopify broke down. Vertiv Holdings broke down. Pagaya broke down. Rocket Labs broke down. Carvana broke down. Dave.
Mm.
Transmedics, Lemonade, Sale, the list goes on and on, right? iRhythm is actually looking like it's starting to form a little double bottom right above the 50-day moving average.
Interesting.
We'll see if that one can hold. Lending Club broke down. A lot of these were pretty promising. Monolithic Powers came right back down into its base. Zep, which was kind of trying to flag out there, it broke down to the downside. Hinge, a similar pattern. It was trying to trade sideways, form another little base. It broke down to the downside. Same thing with Com. Com broke its long-term trend line, broke its 20-day, it down as well. Nvidia, which had a very promising breakout, it came right back. It's kind of holding up very firm. Now, on the plus side, we did have quite a few stocks managed to hold. Like I said, half of the time the stocks are going to flush out, but there are the standard bears or the leaders, I should say, that held their ground. Marvell held its ground.
Mhm.
Centrus Energy shook me out on the break of the 10-day, then rallied hard throughout the day. A little bit of a choppy, volatile day
Mm.
on Friday. We'll see if that momentum can continue. ASML held strong. NVMI held strong. Eldorado Gold held strong.
Mm.
National Fuel, nice strong breakout during the week from NFG. Carmen held strong, bouncing off the 10-day moving average.
Wow.
ERO Copper held strong, didn't even test the 10-day moving average. Same thing with Qubits. Qubits rallied up hard. It actually, I think it might have closed up, man, probably down for the week. I'm not exactly sure, but it just didn't even touch the 10-day
Close,
moving.
yeah.
Tarsus Pharmaceuticals actually flashed a little buy signal earlier in the week, and then it held tight and followed through on Friday. Interdigital held its 10-day moving average. Rambus held its 10-day moving average, and same thing with HRO. AEM held up strong. XPEV, XPeng, it held up well. BKV broke out again on Friday. We're going to drop another little
Wow.
green arrow there. Very strong look there. AppLovin, new high for AppLovin as everything
Hey.
else was selling off. We're just going to move that anchor up. App held up strong, bounced right off the 10-day moving average. And then Eaton Pharmaceuticals, a really strong week from Eaton Pharmaceuticals. I took some early profits on that, and then it rallied up very nicely on Friday, up 5.6%. Caledonia Mining, the stock is just unstoppable. Again, I
No
thought it was
kidding.
extended, even a long term. I mean, you kind of zoom back a little bit. That looks like it's pretty well on a nice run, but it just kept on going. So nice, strong look from Caledonia Mining. So all in all, it was a week of shakeouts. It was a week of following the rules, right? Anything that broke the
Mhm.
10-day moving average, I pretty much just moved out because if they're breaking the 10-day moving average, volatility tends to ensue. So it's just good to just get out of the way. But for the most part, it's just back in the red zone. Let the market settle out. Let the buyers prove that they're coming to step in because the next step is today is low or Friday is low. If that doesn't hold, then it's probably going to test the 50-day moving average. And if that doesn't hold, then it's probably going to test the 150-day moving average. And by the time you get down to that point, you really don't want to be in the market. So
No.
yeah, it's just that's why not every red zone turns into a major correction, but all the major corrections start with 3 down days below the VWAP, which is why we use that as our caution flag, and then we just follow the steps from there. So it's not a sell everything signal, it's not a run, it's not a short the market signal. It's just hey, let's raise the caution flags. Let's just be aware of what's going on, seeing the action in the leaders and how many leaders just came right back down. You would like them to flatten out, right? You don't want them to spike up and then just come right back down. You want them to go
Right.
up and then hold those gains, let those averages come right up. And that's not what happened. Sellers came in and pushed them right back down, which raises a little bit more caution flags. But it also creates some sell signals, which then creates opportunities for buy signals when these stocks start moving back above their VWAP. So if buyers come back in and support it from here, there's going to be plenty of opportunities, like there always is, to jump back in. We were able to take some very nice profits that we've generated over the past couple of weeks. So this is just normal part of the process, right? And the leaders, the ones that hold, are continue to move higher. The ones that shook out, they might sit up again and continue to move higher. And then the half of those that don't continue to move higher, just we never hear from again. We'll never hear from them again. So that's just all part of the process.
Exactly right. Well, that is it for us today at VWAP Vision's weekly review. Thank you so much for listening on Spotify, watching on YouTube. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe, and then hit the ratings and reviews. Help us bump up a little bit. It'll always help get more eyes on this and make it more interactive. If you want to know more about who we are, what we do, check out our webpage, VWAPvision.com. That's VWAPvision.com. And if you'd like access to our arrow review, where Jason and I break down the potential breakouts or potential failures that we see in the market, which have been sent to us by our algorithm. If you want those daily buy and sell signals from our algorithm, and also some videos about how Jason and I talk, how we use those signals in our personal trading, subscribe over at our Patreon, patreon.com/Empire Algorithmic Trading. And if you are a social media hound like we are, subscribe over at Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky X, anywhere you digest your trading information, we are. So make sure to find us there and subscribe as well. And as always, Jace, until Arrow Reviews, can't wait to see what the week holds for us. And happy trading, buddy.
Hey, thanks, buddy. We'll see you in a little bit.